Welcome back to the channel, y'all. It's your boy Josue here at Josue's Exotics. And in today's video, we're going to show you guys why ball pythons make the best pets. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications, and hit your like button. So the number one reason why I think ball pythons make the best pet reptile is one, because of their extremely docile nature. These snakes are very nice. They are the least likely snake to bite you. They're very handleable, even as babies. They may be a little bit more nippy, but they tame right down very easily. The next thing about these snakes is that they normally only get generally about 5 to 6 feet long in length, which is not real big for a pet snake, because generally boa constrictors can get up to 9 feet, and retics and other snakes like that can get up to 20 feet long at max length, and sometimes even bigger than that, especially with the green anaconda. Another thing about these guys is the fact that they can live up to almost 30 years. So if you're not really ready for a long time commitment with these kind of animals, or if you don't want an animal you're going to have for a very long time, this is probably not going to be the best pet snake for you. But nevertheless, if you are, what better not to get a ball python? Another reason why I think ball pythons make the best pet is because their care is relatively simple. So as far as feeding goes, you can go to pretty much any reptile store and you can get frozen thawed mice and you can feed them those. And normally that's my preferred method of feeding my snakes, just because it's a whole lot safer for them, because you don't have to worry about the mice actually injuring your snake or something like that. As far as humidity and things like that, they normally have humidity around 80%, so they kind of got to stay a little bit humid, because they're known to not shed their complete skins, which is normally a problem in snakes, because you always want to make sure they completely shed their skin, so that way the new shed can come off as it's growing as well. Generally, they like to have an ambient temperature around 78 to 80 degrees, which is pretty much the same for just about all snakes. But they like to have a basking spot, or like a hot spot area, around 96 degrees. And normally with that, I choose to use a heat mat and use a thermostat to do that with. And another thing about ball pythons, which is normally a really weird thing, is they're infrequent eaters. I've known snakes to go a whole year without feeding. Or like even with Spaghetti's case, when I first got her, she didn't eat for the first 3 months. And I tried everything to get her to eat. But usually I just kind of calm down and stop trying to feed her every week and just wait about 2 weeks or so. And then I try to feed her and she eats just fine. But after that first initial long period, she got over it relatively easy. And I'm pretty sure it's probably mostly just her needing to actually settle down in a new home and all. But yeah, as far as availability goes for these snakes, you can pretty much find ball pythons pretty much anywhere in the whole world, wherever you decide to go. If there's a reptile store near you, they're more than likely going to have a ball python there. They're the most common snake in the pet trade because of the docile nature, like I said before, and a whole lot of other little things. Plus, they come in many different kind of morphs and variations of the same kind of snake. The most curious one that I want to look into are the scaleless ones. Like, personally, I've never really seen a scaleless snake. I think it's kind of look weird. I wonder how it would probably really feel. Like, I wonder if it's like feeling a hairless cat. Like, you know what I mean? But I don't know. Another one is leucistic. Leucistic is pretty much I think it's 2 or 3 times as rare as getting an albino snake, because they have pretty much blue eyes and they have pretty much the albino skin color, just not the red eyes are blue. So yeah, those are gonna be some of the morphs. There's also spider ball pythons, which I don't really recommend getting, just because they have a lot of neurological issues. And actually, in a lot of countries, I believe in the UK, they actually banned the spider ball python morph. So as far as upfront costs go for the ball python, generally the wild types are going to be the cheaper ones that you can find in the stores. I believe they run around 60 to 80 bucks for a wild type ball python at Petco, I believe. When the last time I was there, I wouldn't recommend buying them from there, but you can. But you can also buy reptiles from online if you would like. But the thing is with that, even though they're a little bit cheaper, you have to pay overnight shipping, which can generally run you around 40 to 50 bucks extra on top of that to actually get the snake to you. And then sometimes the breeder won't send them to you because it's too hot, too cold, or something along those lines. Another thing about these guys is the morphs and all can go way higher up in price. I've seen some ball pythons range from $300, $400, $500 and way up into the thousands if you want something highly specific. As far as housing goes, the housing can get fairly expensive because with ball pythons reaching lengths of 5 to 6 feet, you're going to have to get a fairly large enclosure for these guys. So what I like to use, for me, I have a 40-gallon breeder aquarium with a locking top on it, and I fill it up full of substrate, and that's what I like to use for that. Just because they're easier to get your hands on and a whole lot cheaper than buying a giant Exoterra and risking the chance of it breaking or something like that happening, and now you're out of $400 or $500 for a giant Exoterra. Another thing about this is you can use a rack system. If you want to invest in a rack system, if you have multiple snakes, and you can use that. A lot of reptile breeders I know love to use those because it covers them up in all four corners, and it helps keep humidity up and do other little small things like that. Also, you can use tubs. Tubs is another great, really great method of keeping animals in. I often use tubs, but if you're going to use a tub, just make sure you get the locking lid tubs. Those are going to be the best ones to get to make sure your reptiles are always secure and actually home when you go look at them. And I give you an update on my little story on what happened with one of my snakes and tell you why you need locking lids on another video. So yeah guys, this is pretty much my reason why I think ball pythons make the best pet reptiles for beginners and for any snake owner if you're looking to see about getting into this hobby. So if you guys like the video, make sure you drop a like button down below and make sure you subscribe to the channel. And this is your boy Josue here, signing off.